Good boy, Bonzo. That was my center line, but I found a good little bit of wormholes on this side. It'd be cool to leave them there and put some epoxy in, but I think I'm going to just take off all the material to the right of my center line. I think that'll look pretty slick when I'm done. Hopefully. We'll see if I can pull it off. Getting this turned into a Gunstock War Club. We'll see how it goes, my first one. Right now it's way too hefty. I'll get a rough shape, take it from now the way we're looking at it from the left of the line. I'm going to take all that material off. Thin her out. Not about taking huge chips off with every swing. For me, I try and be a little more precise. You can take wood off, but you can't put it back on. I'm getting down to my line here, and I don't want to screw that up. I'll get down a little farther, I'll use a rasp or something along those lines. Start shaping it down to a little more of where I want it. Kind of, you know, you make a couple little nips in there, and then I kind of just roll it along there, almost like you're slicing. That's how I do it. Sure, there's a million ways. Kind of makes it, give it a little more precision. Watched a lot of videos where people are using a bunch of power tools and just taking boards from Home Depot or Lowe's, and some of them have been cool videos, some of them they're just butchering their work of art and then trying to fix it with more power tools. I'm no better than anybody else. I just like trying to do it a little more old-fashioned. I feel like you put a different kind of energy into your art without using any electricity or power tools. And the way things are going, one day there might not be any more power. And then, when everybody runs out of bullets, at least I'll have a war club, right? I'm mostly joking, but you never know. At least I know these. I try to do at least learn everything I can without using power tools. That way I have that skill and I don't have to rely on it. I mean, if I had a woodworking shop with all this nice planers and different saws and band saws and all that, I could probably make some pretty wild stuff. But it's just not the same as using an axe, rasp, knife, sandpaper to get where you want to get. And that's just how I feel about it. Doesn't mean you can't make something great by using power tools. You can damn near make things perfect with them, but there's something about leaving a couple of them chatter marks from your hatchet in the side of your piece of art you're making. If that makes any sense to any of you. That's just me. And I'll continue to do that until the arthritis in my hands gets so bad that I can't anymore. And then maybe I'll try and start switching to using more power tools. Problem is, I don't really have much money to be able to even buy those tools. I just get by with what I can. But I figured out. The one thing I do use a lot is an angle grinder with a flap disc on it. When I do want to take wood off with a power tool, that's what I use, and that's a great tool to do it. But you definitely need to learn finesse and skill with that, or else you'll butcher your projects. Practice makes perfect on anything, right? But nothing's perfect. So practice makes you better. That's more like it. I really like all these, man, these big old wormholes in there. That's pretty cool looking. I might try and, I'm gonna have to leave some of that in there, integrate that into the project. I'll fill it in with epoxy, but boy, that's pretty cool. That looks pretty awesome to me. I like that kind of stuff. Got about 20 minutes before I gotta hike back with Bonzo and go open up shop. But beautiful morning, beautiful fall morning. It's still nice and mild, and I know there's some rain blowing in for overnight and tomorrow, but man, I love this time of year. I love winter too. There's something about being out there in the mountain in the middle of winter, surviving. Kind of lights a fire in my soul. I have to work this woodwinning screen. This stuff gets absolutely so hard when it's seasoned. It would take so long to... I mean, really what I could do is rough this thing out and soak it in oil and let it season for like a couple months. That would work. Keep it from getting little splits along up through it, but as long as the splits and cracks aren't across, but running with the grain, it's usually not a problem. And aesthetically, it doesn't look as good to some people. You want to make it perfect, but I'm more into the handmade. Damn, that bone he's chewing on stinks. Golly, boy. That thing's stinking, boy. I ain't letting you kiss me tonight. Happy dog. That's why it took him a while to come back, because he had that darn bone. It's like a deer leg bone. Yeah, this is going to be cool. Check that out. All that wormhole in there. Man. Fill that in with some epoxy. That is bad ass. In my book. I like how on this side here I got this knot back there also. That's a good knocker there. I probably really don't even need to put any kind of spike with that knot setting right there. That gas you up. Gotta create angles with this thing. If I'm just trying to go straight across, not going to take off as much. It's going to take a lot longer. Start off on the sides, get yourself one down, maybe the other side, and then you hit through the middle. That's one way to do it with these rasps. I think for me that's the most efficient way. Starting to get excited about this thing. Right around when I get to start really shaping down to the rough shape I want, I'm getting close. Where it'll get fun. I mean, the whole project's fun, but I love it once it gets down to some knife work and rasping and sanding. Using the hatchet is always fun, but shoot, the whole process is fun. I mean, going and searching out the right tree can take weeks. The ball-headed War Club that I made, I searched for 3 weeks before I found that. Every day I had just had my eyes open, looking around everywhere we went for the right piece that called to me. And then it just so happens that this tree was fairly close to the other tree where I got the ball-head War Club from. They were about 15-20 feet apart. So I found this fairly quickly after I found the one that turned into a ball-head War Club. I started thinking I'd like to make a Gunstock War Club as well. And then lo and behold, this tree called to me. May sound stupid saying that, but that's how it is. Same thing with carving that owl on the face of that ball War Club. Like, I was just sitting there looking at the different marks I'd made with the hatchet in that ball there, and I just envisioned the owl there. Kind of spoke to me a little bit. And that's what I ended up putting on there. I never really planned too much. I just let it go where the project goes. Any kind of plan I ever have ends up changing. So I just kind of let it flow. Well, about time I gotta head back. Man, that's gonna be cool. Fill that up. Give it some major character. That's what I like.
You smell like a dead deer. You were eating on a deer, man. You stink. You stinkins. You brush your teethers. My goodness, you stink. I'm gonna give you a bath. All right, look at. Man, you're a stinky boy.
Fast with it. Whoop. Starting to come up. See that? It's alright though. What we're gonna do, just might be cooler this way anyway. At least I'm gonna tell myself that. pretty happy. I don't usually add stain in on projects too much, but I use some red mahogany stain. I burnt the stripes in and then did one coat of red mahogany stain, wiped it down, and then I threw my little boiled linseed oil pine tar mixture on there and kind of thinned that stain out a little more. I'm really happy with it. I know this isn't traditional, but I put a couple little teeth on there on each side there. I think that hurt pretty good, cracking down on somebody. There's a knot back here. Usually you want to have a blade at this point. Usually you want to have a blade here sticking out right there. But if I come across the right blade, I might put one in there. I even thought about putting a boar's tooth that I have sticking out right there, just something small, but decided not to for now. Filled in all these wormholes up here with epoxy, and the stain kind of took into that a little bit, which I like. This gives it a neat old look. I tried to make it a little aged looking, and it'll get there over time, because this was a green tree when I started. I'd say give it a year or two and this thing will just be rock solid. Rock solid. I left a lot of the little marks, tool marks and things in there. I like doing that to an extent, just see it's handmade. This isn't perfectly straight like a normal Gunstock War Club would be, but this isn't a normal Gunstock War Club. And I went out, you know, I could go find the perfect tree and make a perfectly straight War Club out of it, but I followed the grain with this club, and this is the shape it took. I think that gives it a little more power and a little more strength and stability. I kind of sharpened up this edge, so that's where it rounds off into the handle, but right here, that's a sharp edge. It's and then you got your teeth up here and another sharp edge right here. I got a sharp edge right here, some teeth, and a sharp edge down to right here. So I figure if I'm just, you know, if I want to give a devastating power hit, I would probably swing down this way and just crack it down in there with nowhere for this club to go except for in. When I'm using this end, it makes you want to more slide across. You're not going to get stuck in a battle. You know, you're going to ring it across whoever you're fighting. Do some serious damage, but finishing blow, I'd spin it this way. You know, crack down on a collarbone, break somebody's arm, all kinds of crazy things. This thing would hurt, even now when it isn't completely seasoned. It's a beast. I thought about carving eagle's head or something down on the end here. At some point I might still do that. But I'm really happy with this Gunstock War Club. And that's all that matters, because it's mine, right? It was fun to make. Not completely accurate, but this is my interpretation of one. I'll probably throw another coat of boiled linseed pine tar mix on here, maybe 2 coats, and then burnish it down with a piece of antler, get it nice and lock in that grain nice and smooth. Pretty cool. I kind of want to carry it around with me on my hikes with Bonzo, but I don't know if people would freak out or not. I could make up something. It's a dancing stick. you know, tell them it's just a dancing stick. They'll probably look at me like, this guy he's got something wrong with him. But, man, this will do some damage. Get yourself in the jam. Pretty cool. See if I can. I'd say that'd do some damage. I'd say it would definitely do some damage. Break some bones, crack some skulls. We'll see where it leads once it ages and seasons. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I got more to come. I'll catch y'all on the next one. See you.